Given the rising stakes of these investigations, Melissa and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown, who himself has been the target of such probes, if he would be getting lawyered up at this point.
I would have started out being lawyered up. Under no circumstances in this day and age, when everything involving whatever you're doing can be investigated, it can be a political downside for you, you ought to have a lawyer on the payroll for more than one. If you recall, Phil, many years ago, back in the 80s, I had a guy named Joe Rimtrow who was outside of the spectrum, a great lawyer, and he was the guy that every time you went to the bathroom, you checked with Rimchow.
No, yeah, I don't blame him so much for getting a lawyer. Look, right now you've got White House counsel who is not looking out for Pence's best interest necessarily. And then you have the Department of Justice. That's also not the VP's personal attorney. So, he wants somebody who's looking out for Mike Pence specifically and who can keep those confidences. And so, I don't think it's a crazy thing.
Okay, but when you do that, and we in the media say that the vice president is lawyering up, or anybody else is lawyering up, or they're a person of interest, it's almost as if you are making an admission or at least suspect of guilt.
Well, people should not think that at all. Look, remember in the 90s, the Clinton White House, plenty of people had to lawyer up there. Remember, he got in some trouble when he tried to help them pay off their legal bills afterwards. So, it's not uncommon for a number of people to lawyer up. It doesn't mean that they're guilty at all. It doesn't mean they're not, but it doesn't mean that they are.
Except that the public thinks that if you hire a lawyer when somebody says something about you, you're trying to protect people from finding out the truth. That's why you ought to lawyer up from the first day you get the job, period.
Well, look, Pence is going to be sitting across the table from 12 lawyers from the Department of Justice, from the independent counsel. So the fact that he wants somebody on his side, isn't totally unreasonable.
Okay, even the Attorney General is going to wind up sitting across from those things. Everybody's going to, what are they going to build a special building in Washington? This is the Department of Special Investigations?
I don't understand why you raise any questions about the need for full employment for those of us who have license to practice law. That's what we do, and we love the opportunity to demonstrate the skills which we have acquired.
Now, some of this is serious because when you sit down in front of federal investigators, everything you say is subject to coming back and saying you didn't tell us the truth. And you could find yourself in hot water not even knowing it.
Well, of course, and actually now
if you make a mistake.
We're hearing reports now that the Trump administration is having difficulties recruiting people for high-level positions because they say, if I'm going to come on board, who's going to pay for my lawyer that I'm invariably going to need as part of my compensation package?
Now, you're a lawyer. My question is, when do the lawyers start getting lawyers?
That's a great idea. I'm a member of the D.C. Council, the D.C. Bar, and I'm available. Sessions claimed that there's a policy that prevents him from answering certain questions because the president might claim those communications are privileged. California Senator Kamala Harris hammered him on that claim.
The policy is based...
Did you ask that it would be shown to you?
The policy is based on the principle that the president...
Sir, I'm not asking about the principle. I'm asking when you would be asked these questions and you would rely on that policy. Did you not ask your staff to show you the policy that would be the basis for you refusing to answer the majority of questions that have been asked of you?
Should be allowed to answer the question.
Senator Harris tweeted this after the hearing, quote, "It's unacceptable that Sessions, the top law enforcement official in the country, cannot name his legal basis for evading questions."
2 weeks of hearing, 2 spotlight shots for rookie Senator Harris. Gaining fame, possible presidential contender already. Melissa and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown, is she coming off as prepared or too strident, or is she scoring points here?
I think she's doing exactly what she does best and what she's been trained to do. She is a prosecutor. That is her whole profession. That's how she's been at it forever. And whenever she directs the questions, they come off in the prosecutory style. That'll all change as life unfolds. The Senate, what they call courtesy and all that stuff, it'll come, but it'll come with age. In the meantime, she's Miss District Attorney.
Well, and also part of the problem with giving each speaker, each member of the committee a specific amount of time is that you allow witnesses to filibuster. Basically, they get one question and they can just go, go, go. And what she was trying to do was sort of both times that she was sort of, shushed was she was trying to stop the people who were talking from filibustering her for what she perceived as filibustering her so that she could get to the next question once it was clear they were not going to answer the question that she already asked. So that's kind of a danger that's baked into a set time in the process, that you're going to get people trying, going over the
So how
witnesses.
much of these committee hearings are sort of rigged up in advance, between the time limits that go from question to question, the interruptions? How much of this is staged and to not get information out?
But let me tell you, it's all staged, and it's even worse if you are as far down on the ask question group as she is. She's like number last, and that's it, period. What she does, though, being as bright and able as she is, she hears all the remnants of what has been said and done, and she's able to literally synthesize and bring it down. And unless you are clever, unless you are like wiry and you can do what Session does, she is going to nail you to the cross.
Her people are really on top of this. Within minutes of these things happening, you get an email with a link to the video, a link to the audio, a full transcript. Her office is
and then
pushing it right out.
a little while away, you get a tweet, and then you get a fundraising letter as well, either for her or one of her colleagues. So yes, the machine in Washington is definitely, everybody is getting something out of these hearings.
Yeah, you got to wonder whether she's sending a fruit basket to Burr and McCain, thanking them for making her such a superstar right now.